What's up, guys? Hope you're having a great day. Ask Steve number 14 is here. If you're new to the channel, you're not sure what's going on, you ask questions in the comments of this video, and in the next video, I just answer all the comments. Pretty much it. You can ask me anything you want, anything about buying and selling, collecting, life, becoming something, I don't know, anything you think I can answer. If you just want to ask anything, ask my favorite color, favorite treat, whatever. Let's just have some conversations. It's not too serious. It's just something a little bit of fun. It's completely free of charge. So don't see if you have to offer me money to get your questions asked, definitely, because that happened last week. So don't worry about that. You can ask as many questions as you want. You know, obviously within reason. Don't just spam like 100 of my favorite piece of grass to eat or something like that. But yeah, so ask any questions. We'll try to get past this. Move this microphone up a little bit. There we go. That's good. So, all right. I hope you guys are doing well too. The support lately has been absolutely extreme. You know, you guys seem to be loving a lot of the sorting videos and me just talking. So I feel like I'm more than happy to do as many of those as you need. If there's ever a really big question that you don't think I can answer just on one of these, feel free to throw it at me. Send it to me privately on Instagram. Maybe I'll bring it up while I'm doing a sorting video and we can work some things out. You know, I'm here to help. It doesn't make much sense. A lot of people are questioning my ulterior motives. Unfortunately, I'm just here to help. That's it. So let's get to this first question. Nathaniel Costa, 1826. I have a few questions about selling that I feel like you'd have good advice on. Number one, how do you not get attached to the stuff? I buy mostly collections in bulk, and initially I intended to resell, but once I get it, I usually keep it all. I'm lucky to not be in a situation where I'm in truly need of more funds, but it's a double-edged sword because I feel like I'm not motivated to sell. Sorry, hiccups coming early in this video because I already recorded a 3-hour video today. Well, 2.5 hours. So I got my water bottle handy, and it's really hot today as well. So if I start sweating halfway through the video, well, that's not my fault. All right, how do you not get attached to the stuff? Man, that's a crazy good question. So, you know, I usually do advocate for people to try to sell the stuff that you are interested in the most. Don't try to just sell anything to make money because it's not the whole point of everything I've ever tried to push. It's always supposed to be try to sell things you're interested in because that's the market you really know. And then you can use that knowledge to see what actually sells, see what people are looking for, see what kind of offers you get to then buy more of the stuff. And so eventually you come out ahead on more stuff that you actually like with the same amount of money spent. So that's the main goal that I ever try to push. How do you not get attached? It's really hard, man. Like, honestly, if you have some good stuff that you really like, it's hard to let go. I mean, just today, I sold one of the trophies for my collection, and it's really hard to let go. Just even hard to talk to people about them asking to buy them. But unfortunately for me, you know, I don't have an outside job. You said, you know, you're not motivated to sell because, you know, you most likely have a job that pays well. So I need to sell, but I still don't want to. But I stay motivated to sell that because I know there's other stuff that I like. I try to expand my horizons a little bit so I can take the money from that and then put it into something else that I actually like. But maybe, you know, I bought that item for much less than I'm selling it for, and maybe I can find some other items that I think are valued less, or maybe I can find other items that people are putting up for cheap. Maybe they need money or something like that. And I can go from buying something for, let's just say 10,000, selling it for 20,000, and then using 20,000 to buy a few $1,000 items that I find, you know, on auction houses or something that someone's dumping or something like that. They need money, so I'm buying them off them to get some value back. So maybe I buy it for 10, sell it for 20, but then I spend 20,000. I know these are big numbers and not everyone's going to be dealing with this, but it makes more sense. So I spend that 20,000 on $21,000 items that might be valued a little bit higher because people need money and I'm just buying it off them, giving them liquidity. Just like I did when I first bought that at 10,000, if that makes sense. You know, I mean, you said it's a double-edged sword because it feels like you're not motivated, but if you're not motivated because you don't need the money, I mean, you're in a great position, man. You don't have to sell. That's the thing. Sometimes I might push a little bit too much selling and I go sell, 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 sell. But if you don't have to sell, just put it in a binder, leave it if you like it. I mean, if you buy enough items that you feel like, okay, I don't want to spend any more of my personal money on items, just make it a goal for yourself. Like, okay, I can only spend money with the money that I sell. So if you then I give you more motivation, you have to create like a little bit of like a quest in your mind or like a game out of it. Like kind of just like I'm doing with the plush behind me. Like I spent a certain amount on the plush and now the plush money will only go towards plush. So all the money I sell from plush, I'll buy more plush. That's pretty much it. I'm not going to be keep like going crazy unless I see like an insane deal that it's very obvious I should buy it. But I try to keep things in certain buckets. When like, you know, I got some booster boxes to the side of me. Every dollar I spend on each booster box will be spent on more booster boxes. I'm not going to use like PSA card selling money or collection selling money on more booster boxes. It's all like within its own region. So maybe you need to do something like that where you're like, okay, I can't buy any more cards. I need to sell some cards. And that might motivate you. And then you might start having fun. You can sell some things like, oh man, I bought this for like 50 and I sold it for 80. That's so cool. And then you realize someone else gets a really cool card and then you can go get your own cool card. You'll be surprised of how good it feels. And question number 2, everything I've bought has mostly been over Facebook groups and I don't have receipts or anything like that. Have you ever had this issue in terms of dealing with the taxes when you sell? I'm worried that I don't have receipts for my purchases. My sales would be taxed unfavorably. All right, so this is a tax question, and I'm just going to say it now. There's like hundreds of tax questions all the time on Instagram, everywhere. I simply don't answer them because I'm in Australia. You might not be in Australia. We all have different tax systems. We all are in different income brackets. We're all in different things. What I do is completely different to 99.9% of people out there because I have a company and I have a bookkeeper and I have a business tax accountant and I spend like $13,000 a year pretty much paying them to do their thing. So what advice is for I would give for people and like things that I actually do are completely different. Plus I'm not, you know, a licensed tax advisor and I really don't want to like tread those lines. So I just won't respond to any tax questions. But all I can say to you is that before it becomes a thing where you start selling anything, before you worry, just go talk to an accountant. Maybe just search in your area accountants that deal with like online selling and see if they have any expertise in your area or something like that. Or maybe look for some online ones. I'm sure they're out there, whichever country you're from. Trust me, because this is a big thing and I'm sure they're out there. Henry Gomez 7142. How do you streamline listing images for the volume of listings that I have? So streamline, you mean like make it an easier process. So, all right, let's get into some listing practices. All right, so I actually will be making a listing practice video for a full breakdown of how to make things a little bit more efficient. That's coming in the future. That's like on my list of like things to do. I'm gonna turn this light up a little bit because it's kind of annoying me a bit. So when you talk about streamlining, you just want to make more things more efficient. So when I'm doing images, it starts before I even think about taking the photos. You know, the way you list and like sort your inventory should be how you take the images. Let's say like for me, I work on type and then alphabetical. So today I listed a whole bunch of near mint lightning type cards, electric type cards, whatever they are, the yellow ones. And it started from A to Z. So my images were like A to Z and you know, it's stuff like that. So when I'm taking the pictures, I'm making sure that when I'm listing them and eventually when I'm sorting them into the boxes, that it's in the closest vicinity of what I'm sorting. So all my lightning cards are put A to Z and I take the pictures from A to Z, back and front, and I'm sorting them away A to Z, just so when I put all my Pikachus in, it's all already in one big stack ready to go and I can slot them in easily. I'm not listing like a random fire type card and then some random card ass and then like some plush and then some booster boxes. I'm not doing all these random things. I'm just doing like lightning cards A to Z already pre-sorted. Now the images, for me, I just sit there and scan them. I have a scanner called an Epson V370, I think it is. Yeah, Epson Perfection V370 for my graded cards. For my single cards, I also use a scanner similar to like a receipt scanner that a business would use. I haven't made anything on this because I don't want people to think that it's like you need to have a single card scanner to get ahead for a single card store. It does greatly reduce the time when scanning and when listing your single cards to have a single card scanner, but it's not so much to like for the cost of the item, just for like how much it is compared for a new store. So I use what's the scanner called? It's called a Fujitsu 8170. So if you want to go look into that, there's plenty of sports cards videos on, you know, on YouTube and stuff like that for people using those. I most likely will never do like a single card scanner video because the thing cost me like $1,600 and I don't want people to think that you need a $1,600 scanner because I sold almost 40 to 50,000 cards before I even had a single card scanner. So it's not really something you need, in my opinion, when you're first starting, at least. If you're selling 1,000 cards a month, well, maybe look into something like that. But yeah, the listing images, I mean, it's just back and front, back and front. If you're using a phone, which is what I suggest most people to do when they're starting, use your phone, get a tripod set up, make sure it's facing correctly straight down, have a black background, maybe put some tape on the corners of like, make like a card box sort of thing, just so you have an idea of just where you can put the card, place it down, place it, flip it around, make sure you can use 2 photos. You can also get like, what is it called? You can get like buttons or pens, like Bluetooth pens or Bluetooth buttons that connect to your phone. I've told people to use these many times. You can connect them to the phone and then you can just press like the top of the pen to take the photo. So you don't have to like place the card and then like press the photo button over and over again. You can just place the card underneath with one hand and then press the pen and then take it out, put the other side, you know, you can just, instead of consistently like having to use your fingers in weird ways and have it up the top, you know what I mean. So all I can say is have them pre-sorted perfectly before you plan on listing. Have a good sorting way. If you need more questions on our answers on how to sort, but yeah. Listing images, unfortunately, is something that just takes a long time, and it's pretty much like the biggest barrier to entry when it comes to selling things online also. So don't worry that it does take a while, because it takes a while for everyone. All right, Joshua Waters 6791. How do you balance buying and selling and with investing to sell later? For example, do you purposely plan to keep sealed product / hype cards to sell later? And if so, how do you balance this that you don't end up sitting on too much stock? Thanks. All right, Josh. So I'm not sure if you've ever seen these videos before, but I'm not really someone who ever really advocates investing or any sort of like keeping to sell later type things. I'm more of a type of guy that just buys something at a certain price, searches it up before I make a purchase, see if it's worth selling, you know, maybe grading it to see if there was a price difference between a 10 and a 9 and like the raw price and how much it's going to get. And I make the purchase knowing what I can sell it for if certain circumstances arrive. So I pretty much list almost everything I get the moment I get it if it's not going to be graded. Other than that, I don't ever really buy things to sell later. I have booster boxes sitting next to me, but I bought these at a certain price and I just listed all of them for like however much more. I just looked at how much everyone else was selling them for and I added on like another $10 because I was like, okay, well, those prices seem kind of fine and I'm happy to, you know, I'm not in a rush to sell these because just stocking booster boxes is something I wanted to do for the next year, as there's a lot of people who have asked me about booster boxes and I want to be kind of like a trustworthy source to buy them from, and they trust me. And there's a lot of people internationally, I have really good shipping rates, so they get them even cheaper. Plus it's like off eBay and there's no forced taxes and all. So I was like, okay, I can offer a few of each set. I mean, there's not that much here. There's like 2 to 3 of each set, apart from like Pokemon Go, there's a whole bunch, but I just priced them a little bit higher than other places, but knowingly, because I'm a business, because I have all these like extra fees and taxes and stuff added on, I just charge a little bit more. And if they sell, they sell. And if they don't, well, they're just going to sit here. So I don't really do like a buying and selling with investing to sell later type things. A lot of the stuff I buy, there's no like time frame of how long it's going to take to sell. Like maybe some of these, you know, more exclusive plush on my shelf here, some of them will take a lot longer to sell than other things. I mean, like this. This is the Yokohama World Championship clay figurine. This is an awesome thing. Costs like $20 each at the Pokemon Center in Yokohama. And the World Championship, I bought like, you know, 5. I bought 5 of those at the event. I was like, these are pretty cool. I'll sell them. I seen them selling online for like $50. I listed all mine for like $75. I don't really care when they sell, but I just wanted to get $75 out of them because they're a bit cumbersome to buy, and I'm sure eventually they'll run out and mine will be the lowest. That's kind of like my mind, you know. I'm not really like the perfect place to go to find something to sell instantly because I'm not really in that space anymore. Oh my god, these hiccups are killing me already. Sorry. But yeah, there are plenty of items that I do buy and then sell really fast. Like a newer set, like maybe a classic collection. I bought those. I bought them sealed packs. Got them in, broke them all down, listed them up the same day I got them. I was one of the first people in the world to sell them on eBay from the Western world, and I sold pretty much... I got my money back within like 4 days when I bought like $6,000 worth of classic collection. So those are kind of things is what I like to do. Maybe sometimes a really fast purchase, but mostly I'm just buying things and then setting a price where I can, you know, be happy with the margin. And then if it takes a while to sell, it takes a while to sell. Revisiting the price every like 3 or 6 months just to see where I'm at. But I'm very fortunate to not need to actively go crazy with my sales. And yeah, hope that helps. I think that's something that everyone should really do. You shouldn't really try to buy and just sit on it and just be like, I'll sell those in 6 months. I'll sell those in 12 months. Because it's not really something that anyone can really do. And if you can do that, well, you're probably so well off that it doesn't really matter what you do. Because even if you sell fast, you're still well off. And even if you don't sell fast, you're still well off. You know what I mean? It's not really like a grinder type fast reseller type of thing. Let me just move this around. All right. Another, Joshua Waters, 6791. Like many people, the idea of making this hobby a career is exciting, but also a lot harder than I'm sure it appears. If you were to start from scratch tomorrow, what's the first thing you would do? Where would you want to be at the end of the first month, 6 months, and 12 months? A long question. I hope it's okay. It's perfectly fine. Oh, wow. That's crazy. So what did you say? 1 month, 6 months, 12 months. Let's use the whiteboard. We haven't used this bad boy in a while. So we got 1, 6, 12. You see that? Barely, right? Oh, I hope you guys can see that. So, 1, 6, and 12. So if I started brand new, it depends. Like, do I have the same amount of money I do now? Do I, you gotta give me some more stipulations. So I would try to focus on things where, this is hard. So I would, it's first month, start from scratch, but I knew everything I knew. It's kind of hard. But if I didn't know what I know, what does that even mean? If I didn't know what I already knew, I would try to get into as many communities as possible. Try to feed off people. Try to be like, okay, these are what the people are talking about. This is the most hype thing. This is the most recent thing. I would be a part of those communities, talk about them, show links, say stuff look great. Hey, where'd you get that from? That looks pretty cool. Oh, that's pretty cool. How long you had that for? Just like be a part of communities and talk with people. It depends how much money you start off with. But the first months, I would focus on like modern releases. So the first month, I would definitely focus on modern releases. That's the stuff that's like the most hype, will sell the fastest, and it'll also bring you the most confidence when it comes to selling. I feel like a lot of people get into this and their thing that they really like is like something that's not so popular and the sales don't come that fast, and then they get like really discouraged because they see everyone selling other things. And maybe they go on my YouTube like, oh, Steve sells $200,000 in 90 days and mine looks like crap. It's like, well, I try to focus on things that people really want so I can sell a lot of them fast, regardless of margin, just so I can keep my brain running and like get through the day. Otherwise, I've had several days where I wake up and I sell nothing, and I do like 14 hours of sorting and listing and I sell nothing. And those days are some of the worst days, honestly. Even these days. Doesn't matter whether I need money or don't need money. It's kind of like, it screws with you a little bit mentally. And then I go to sleep and I wake up and there's like 27 items sold. It's just like, who knows what's going on in this day and age. So first month, I would focus on modern releases, finding my niche, finding my eBay store, building out all my social medias. I would, create a good name in Instagram, maybe even a Twitter handle, and I would join some communities and start talking to people. Within 6 months, I'd be wanting to have a schedule. I mean, if I'm starting from scratch, I probably don't have that much money, so I really want to be focused on getting as many listings onto eBay as possible. So I would be listing bulk upon bulk. I would be going on Facebook groups, being like, hey, does anyone have any bulk? I'm willing to pay like 5 cents, whatever per card. And maybe I would try to look for like 2 different things. I would focus on the most modern releases and sell cards that are like a little bit more expensive, like $3 to $5 to $10. I don't really know of any like examples because I don't know how much money I have to spend, but I would try to sell modern releases, things that sell fast, and maybe make like $1 per card. And then I would go to like Facebook groups, search secondary markets, and I would try to find things that are a little bit older that might not be on eBay, if that makes sense. So I would try to look for like, maybe not old back cards or Wizards of the Coast cards. I would try to look for like mid-era to like black and white XY. So like E-Series, black, white, XY, and then Diamond and Pearl. What else is there? There's a few other series in there, but you know what I mean? I would try to focus on those cards that don't have many listings, and I would have to understand that if I'm listing 100 cards a day, 200 cards a day, just to get as many up as possible on my eBay store, they're not going to be worth much. They're like $2 per card, maybe even $1 per card listings. You don't make much, but you're just trying to get anything. You're just trying to get anything in, a little bit of grasp. You're trying to get some feedback. You're trying to grow your store. So this is what I would do if I was starting from scratch, by the way. There's no perfect thing, There's no, maybe no one knows. Maybe in 6 months you get like the most amazing deal where you make $1 million and you retire. So let me just double check this question. I got this right. Where would I want to be? See, like, I would never make a goal in here which is like based around financials. I know it says like, you want to quit to make a job out of it or a career, but you should never try to do this full time. Even me, as someone who does this full time, I'm telling you right now, don't try to do this full time because it's not possible. Like, I'm not kidding. Even now, to this day, next year, January, February, you might even see me work at a normal job. I'm not even kidding. Because I don't want to lose what I have. Definitely not. I don't want to have to succumb to selling some things out of my collection. Just like I mentioned earlier, I'm selling a trophy because I just want to have the more money and the more funds aside in case more stuff comes up. And it sucks to do that. You don't want to be in that position. You want to just stay in your job and do this on the side. But first month, I want to focus on modern. You want to get that big hit, that dopamine, things that sell fast. Even if you make 10 to 50 cents per card, it's not much. But then you want to focus on, this is just cards, but just all this stuff. And it doesn't even have to be just cards with all this stuff. You can buy random deck boxes, random empty tins. You can just see whatever you can get bulk offloaded off people. Just go on groups, put up posts on Craigslist and stuff like that, buying old Pokemon collections or buying old Pokemon toys or buying old stuff. You just want to be able to put your time into selling things because your time is pretty much worthless when you have less money. No offense, but if you have no money, well, your time's not worth much. You need to use that time to be able to gain value. And once you start selling a whole bunch, each hour you have starts to be worth like incrementally more. But when you first start out, you're not sure what to do. Well, you need to do as much searching, listing, looking, talking as possible, communicating with people and figuring out what to do. And when you're at 12 months, I think you want to wrap around back to modern. So 12 months in, you want to kind of go back to modern. And I honestly think most people these days should just focus as much as possible on modern Pokemon as possible because it's so crazy compared to selling old stuff. I'm not even kidding. Like, I can't even... As someone who spends... Forgot the R. As someone who spends the majority of his time selling older stuff, modern Pokemon is like a different beast. It's not... It's you can't ignore it. It's honestly crazy. Oh, sorry about that. Just a little bit of water. But, yeah. So, I would base none of my goals on anything financial. I would base none of my goals on anything like I want to make this much money, or I want to quit my job, or I want to do this, or I want to buy a car with my profits of my items. Start off with modern, and then your one goal should be to get as many cards as possible. Definitely. Stay working. Keep working on your life, keep studying, keep working, try to pick up more shifts because, working the job is most likely going to give you more money than listing items on eBay at this point. You need to focus a little bit on old stuff because when you do see it, it doesn't come up that often. But when you do see it, you go, oh, wait, that has, those 5 rares from that set and that's 3 holos and those EX cards. I can sell those pretty fast for like $10, $20. It gets it in your mind. They're like, okay, some old cards, they definitely sell fast. Don't get me wrong. Nowhere near as fast as the modern stuff. And then you want to wrap back in modern. I'm not just saying modern Japanese and modern English, modern everything, modern every language, modern every set, modern every product. It's really crazy. I've seen people, I've seen some people on Instagram, the things they're telling me they're selling. I don't really want to talk about them now because it's that business, it's their business. But like, to me as someone, it's like, I'm sitting there like, man, I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. You did that? Like, I didn't even think about that. Like, I'm not even talking about trying to like scalp or like mass buy out certain things. It's just like, wow, you did that? I didn't even think about that. That wasn't even a thing. It's like, it's honestly crazy. Great job. And some people, I've known some people to buy like, just nothing comes to mind right now. Just crazy stuff lately. Or they buy like some old Pokemon product from like 2015 and it has like a special coin in it. But the coin sells for like $10 because it's like a Pikachu coin, but the product's only like 14. But you get a few booster packs and you get this and you get like all these this one promo or something like that. And it's like they break it down and they can sell it all for like $3 or $4 extra at a time. It's like a big... I can't really explain it, but there's definitely so many things you can do, but you need to like, it just takes a lot of work, takes a lot of listings. And by the end here, I would want to, if I'm listing at least 50 a day and you got 12 months, that's like, what is that? Is that 15,000? 15,000 listings? Is that 15,000? No. Oh man, I messed up math. Yeah, that's like 15,000. 15,000 cards listed. It's not, it sounds like a lot, but you'd be surprised what you can get done, honestly. That's not 15,000. What? What is wrong with me? Okay, I can't even do basic maths right now. It's 350 a week times by 22. Surely. Okay. 9,000? 50. Whatever. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I've had a long day of talking to the camera. I'm going crazy. I'm so sorry. Oh, we're going to take this out. When was this? 25 minutes. We've got to take this out of the video. So yeah. Focus on getting your listings up. I still want to focus on the question. This is a good question starting from scratch. A lot of people have asked it. But like, focus on the modern. I know a lot of people are like, oh man, they got so many old cards. I wish I had all those old cards. I wish I was around. There's like a lot of those old cards were new once upon a time. I'm not saying the same thing's going to happen with everything, but you can amass a decent inventory of anything as long as you put the effort in, just like the people did when they were buying the old cards back when they were old, buying XY back when it was XY, buying Sun and Moon back when Sun and Moon. You would be very surprised what people can do if you just put your head in. Like Scarlet and Violet's still a great block, still a great set. This new shiny set's coming out in like a few weeks, and it's like, you think about it, all those cards are going to be like $2, $3, $4, $5 each, because it's not worth very much in English and Japanese, because they're just bulk singles, and you can buy those, put them up on eBay at $1.99, $2.99, maybe the more special ones $5.99. It takes a lot of effort, but you can build a position and you can get well into it. So I wish you good luck if you are going to do this. If not, wish you good luck even anyway. Just Jack 21. When do you think the supply of old near mint raw cards would run out? I feel like if there's a raw card now, it gets graded immediately, and as grading becomes more popular, people are more aware of it. But there always seems to be another lot of near mint black and white full arts, even though they're very scarce. Scarce? Scarce. I don't know what that is. Alright, let's think about this. When do I think the supply of old near mint raw cards will run out? That's a good question. I mean, I honestly don't think it ever will. I don't think it ever will. I think prices will just go up slowly over time. Definitely it becomes harder to get, like, you know, older stuff in better condition. But you just have to pay more. But people don't really want to pay more because most people have price memory. So I honestly don't think it's ever going to run out, the older supply of near mint cards. Things are just more expensive. Because, you know, when a near mint card gets purchased, yeah, it gets graded, but not every time. Not every time. Sometimes someone buys it and then they sell it again in a few months. So yeah, I think it's going to take a long time. If you can still buy like English and Japanese older stuff, I see people grading it all the time. It's just more expensive. Collections are still coming out. It might even be another decade maybe, or maybe like 30th, 35th anniversary where you really see like, man, we can't find anything from back then. But I honestly, I don't know, man. I honestly think this is going to go for a very long time, and you're always going to be able to find something near mint. Maybe not Gem Mint PSA 10. Maybe that's like, maybe. This cat is like sitting on my foot. I already fed you. I'm not giving you more food. So, come here. Oh, look at this. Look at this cat right now. Meow. You want some food? Say hello to the camera. Say hello to the camera. Meow. I already fed you like 3 times today. I'm not giving you more food. But yeah, I think near mint cards will always be available. They're just going to be more expensive over time. That's pretty much what's happened for like the last 5 years. Okay, you got to stop that. Just Jack 21. If you were to have a kid, how would this impact your business? I would assume you'd concentrate on selling the stuff you have and then maybe go for a few higher margin items. How would you deal with the massively reduced time for business? I ask because I have one 15-month-old daughter and a son on the way. My wife and a dog, and a time to myself is almost non-existent. Disclaimer, I love my life, but when I look at what you're doing, I have to set vastly different goals. Well, that's crazy. Look, I don't want to be someone who could ever give advice on what I would do if I had a kid, because I don't have one. So, and I'm not, I can't comment on if I'm planning to have kids or not, because I guess we've talked about it, me and Kimberly, but not in the last like few months, I guess. But if I was to have a kid, yeah, definitely I couldn't sit here and grind through multiple $1 singles over and over again. It would be like a full setup thing. This is something like, if you were to have a kid, you would prepare like 2 years in advance what you want to do. Now you already have one child and one on the way, so it's a little bit different. But I would make sure I have everything up as possible, and maybe, yeah, I would try to find things that sell for more margin, but like less time. So probably focusing on like grading and stuff like that. But that's really expensive. And like if things happen and shit hits the fan in the hobby and you're spending all this money and like grading fees and you got a child and there's more stress, I'm not 100% sure what I would do. If that honestly, I would probably try and find a job. I wouldn't do this from home if I had a kid on the way. At least I would definitely just try to stick to my job and try to work up as much as possible, and then maybe grade like 100 cards a month and try to find stuff that way. But it's definitely still like, I'm not sure. I would honestly, I can't give any advice on what it would be like to have a kid, because I know from what I've seen from people I know, it's not like a 5-hour thing a day. It's like an all-day thing every day. It's like so yeah, I'm not really too sure, man. I'm sorry. I think you should ask someone that probably has kids, because I don't even want to pretend what I know what it's like. Because Halo 32133. That's a cool name. I like Halo 3 and Halo 2 and Halo 1. If you had one advice to tell your younger self, what would it be? Oh man, that's crazy. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I believe most people are where they at for reasons. And where I was at when I was my younger self, 15, 14, 13, 16, I was just, playing Halo 3, playing Halo 2. My advice would be play more of Halo 3 and Halo 2, because it's not last forever. It's not going to last forever. And yeah, I'm not too sure, man. I wish we could just go back to those times where you could just log online, Xbox Live, and enjoy life, Call of Duty, stuff like everyone knows I'm talking about if you're around my age. One advice to tell your younger self, probably the most important thing that I've learned, and learned, I don't know what. Learn how to speak English would probably be the first thing, but the most important thing that I tell people that are like really young that do ask me about this whole starting a business is hang around with people that are either more successful than you or just successful in general, regardless of what you think they would be. Hang around good people that like actually actively help people around them and give back. They're a dime a dozen, that you won't be able to find that often, but if you do, hold on to that person for dear life. I wasted a lot of years when I was younger giving time to people that were like not good people. They didn't care about people around them. They only cared about themselves. And, that's probably one thing, not even my younger self, like 5 years ago. I just really wish that I could be able to be like, yo, when you see someone that is like a shining light and who just brings up everyone around them, kind of like a LeBron James, you know what I mean? He just brings up all his teammates. You really want to be hanging around people like that, because it's crazy. It's actually something that I'm going to be looking forward into like next year. This sounds really stupid, but like I'm going to be joining some like clubs, I guess, if you can say that. I'm going to be like joining things and going to like conventions and stuff that are based around kind of like rich people stuff. It sounds cringy and stupid, but I just want to be around people that have like built stuff, made things, build up with people around them, and are a little bit like smarter and more like business minded, so I can get like a better sense of that. And maybe nothing comes from it, but I feel like you just have to be around people that, no, I don't want to say people like me, because I don't want to like jerk myself off or something. I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube, but like, it's, you know what I mean? It's like, be around people that are actually happy to help people around them, expect nothing in return. And you also have to realize that most people, this is completely contradictory, that most people, if not everyone, is out for themselves. So it's like a complete, like, you have to just find, and if you do find someone like that, try to be like them, try to be that person, try to be the embodiment of light that like people try to look for and like bring up everyone around you. So that would be the advice I give to myself. Don't hang out with losers, pretty much. Hang out with smart people that look like they're going somewhere. I hope that makes sense. All right, Thomas, what is his name? Thomas Naveson, 95. What is the most underrated set, and why is it Mirage Forest? Well, it's not Mirage Forest, because it's Miracle Crystal, actually. So, yeah, hope that helps you. Possu. Do you grade minty non-holo commons, lesser rares from early Nintendo sets to see if there is value in there? All right, Possu. I think there was more to this comment, but I just like removed it because I didn't really understand. But if you ever want to see what I grade, you can just go on my website and just see what I'm grading. I've graded probably 5 to 10,000 non-holo cards this year alone that are mostly like $1 to $5 bulk cards. I have sold hundreds of thousands of dollars of non-holo cards, PSA 10. So yeah, I do it quite a lot, and I will continue to do it in the future. Deadman Walken 8565. As far as questions, I know I jokingly asked if you would collab with J-Love. Have you reached out to him before? Is that something in the realm of possibility? Yes, I hope so. He's pretty cool. Also, it seems like you enjoy the smaller, more controlled community you're building, and wary to see how your channel will be with, in my opinion, inevitable growth. How have you considered making a Discord channel, paid or not, to continue to cultivate and support your community even at scale? Okay, 2 questions. So with J-Love, we're actually pretty good friends. I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned that, but we're actually pretty good friends. We talk all the time. We play games together all the time. He's a good guy. He's actually coming over to my house tomorrow. So that's pretty funny that you mentioned that. And the Discord question, I'm not really sure how to answer this, because like it's something I mean, I'd love it, right? I'd love to have a community, everyone goes together, whatever, but at the end of the day, I have like quite a lot going on. So I want to focus on those things more than anything else, right? I mean, I love this YouTube channel. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to continue to do it regardless of how much time it takes from me. But the Discord is just like another step forward where it kind of like removes a barrier between like everyone. Anyone that listens or watches YouTube videos of mine is more than free to message me, comment anything. I'll answer it all. I don't really care. I'm not trying to be like a private person. I'm not trying to be like this all-seeing God, but I feel like once you make your own channel, once you do all these things, like, I'm sure you are correct, it would probably benefit me. It probably would benefit me or whatever for a Discord channel or anything like that, but it's like, I don't want to be like this all-seeing God of a community. I don't want to be like, oh, that's my Discord. Like, it's yeah, I can't explain. My ego isn't that high, I guess. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, yeah, sure, I have a pretty big ego, but it's not like I'm not like to the point where like I need people to acknowledge me in like a large space that I am that guy. So, you know, if people want to message privately, talk about anything you want, perfectly fine. Stop doing that, cat. What is he doing? But it's yeah, as far as I know, for now, the Discord channel is a no, because the benefits don't really outweigh the negatives when it comes to like people coming in and trolling intentionally, people like asking questions that probably make me uncomfortable, people just making everyone uncomfortable. And when you have those kind of communities, you have to like moderate them quite heavily, then have to choose moderators, and then people argue, and then people bring up topics that no one wants to talk about, and people make it all political and stuff like that. And I can't really police that 24/7, and I don't really want to be involved. And I just know that's just how it is, because it's just a bunch of like young 20 to 35-year-old men being idiots, and that's what we are. We're a bunch of idiots. So I mean, I can't really, I don't want to talk about it too much more, but that's pretty much it, you know. I mean, it's just how it is. Maybe in the future I'll make a Discord channel if we get to 1 million subscribers. Maybe that'll be a thing. But in saying that, there's plenty of Discord channels that are available all across the world for all Pokemon creators, and I'm sure there's something. Maybe there's, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I wake up one day and I say, fuck it, we'll make it a Discord channel, because let's get all the boys in here. But until then, it's a no for now. Tattoo Pikachu. Question, are there any modern cards that you think will perform and be sought after as the gold stars in the future? Oh, I mean, that's not really like an investing question. That's a pretty good question. What do I think? Any modern cards that will perform like a gold star in the future? So I guess the gold stars. The problem with the gold stars is it's like intended rarity. Like, you know that they're rare because it's a gold star. But with like the special arts and secret rares these days, there's like 20 to 30 in each set, and they all have the same pull rate, and they can become more expensive, like Umbreon VMAX, maybe Giratina V, and what else, some other ones like Dragonite V, all the Eevee heroes, all the Espeon VMAX, all this other stuff. Like, they are more expensive than their other counterparts, but there's no intended rarity. But that is also a thing that can work in your favor if you figure out which cards have the same things, but there's like no intended rarities. So right now I look in front of me. I did this video. I mean, I think the RST video will be up after this one. But, you know, I sorted out all these card-ass cards. And Inside the card as cards, let me just pull some examples. Inside the card as cards, there are cards that are pretty much the same rarity as everything else. Kind of like this one here, this Gengar. I'm going to talk about this for a second. But it's more expensive. So, like, even though that Gengar doesn't have gold star level rarity, where it's like, that's the gold star of the set, that's the chase, there's 1 per box, 1 per point, 3 per case, whatever they want to say there is. The Gengar Cardass is pretty much the same rarity as all the other ones, but it's way more desirable because it's Gengar. So I think, like, a card like that in one of those sets, maybe the Gengar Cardass becomes more expensive over time compared to all the other Cardass cards. I'm not trying to say, like, you want to look for things like that. Things that are already, like, established. Like, even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, Gold Stars were established. They were, like, they were here and the rest of the set was here. Well, in the Cardass set, if this is the line for everything, the Gengar's up here when it comes to the non-holos. So you want to try and find those things that are already a little bit more established, already a little bit more, like, everyone knows they're expensive, but maybe spend your time picking up stuff like that. Like, what's another? I mean, it's a good question. And it's not like an investing one, so I really like that you kind of pulled it out. So, what's something else I can think of? Giratina V. It's a great card. It's a great alternate art. One of the best things. The community of Pokemon lovers really enjoyed the way that looked. I bought 20 of them in Japanese for around $300 each Australian. And now I think they're around 700 to 800 each raw. I graded all of mine, 19 out of 20, got PSA 10. I think I've sold maybe like 7 or 8. I've made my initial money back, and now I have 12 Giratina Vs basically for free that are worth around 10 grand, maybe a little bit more. And, stuff like that is something you can do to utilize, like, grading. I got very lucky because the card went up in price after I graded it. But even if I didn't, if it didn't go up in price, I probably could have graded all those nice special cards and probably come up with like 5 out of 20. So I would have, like, been able to profit 5 Giratinas out of buying 20 to start off with. If that makes sense. Like, I bought 20, I graded them, and if I sold 15, 5 of them would have been like my profit without actually selling them for a profit, for like getting my cash back. I hope that makes sense. So that's also something you can think of. I never really think it's good to, like, ever buy something. This cat keeps playing with this plastic down below. Can you stop? Look, I got cats everywhere. This is the villain right here. Can you stop, you big funky monkey? What are you doing? Oh, throwing me around. I can never do these. Alright, so yeah. I never think it should be intended to buy something to hope it goes up in price, as you're just hoping for luck. There's not much skill going on there. You want to try and find things and then, like, influence it with your skill to be able to go up in price. Okay. Can you leave the office? They want food, but I already fed them. It's weird. You guys have cats, so they do that to you as well. Alright. Thanks for the question. Shot of N887. Hey Steve, how would you go about selling a card that you know has been overgraded? I sent you a picture of a Rosa Full Art from Dream League that had a small dent about 3 to 4 months ago. I got the grades back today and it was graded a 10. What would you do in this scenario? Would you put in the description of the listing that there is a dent? I just don't want a customer asking for a refund a couple of weeks later because of the damage. Yeah, I mean, it's a rough situation, man. I've been in it many times. Most cards that I get back that are just overgraded, I just send them to PWCC. It's a terrible thing. Call me every word you want. I mean, it's just, it sucks for collectors. It sucks for everyone. It sucks for the seller. Works for PSA. But also, in saying that, small dents, tiny little bits of damage, PSA 10 does have a margin of error for some items to have a little bit of damage. I would say that. Contradict me. Say whatever you want. I don't care. But, PSA 10 doesn't mean perfect. A lot of the times that might be what they think the PSA 10 is, unfortunately. So what I would do with that card is I would just send it to an auction house. It just sucks. I mean, I don't know. Or you can list it on eBay, show photos of the dent, and then greatly reduce the price of the card. That might be the chaotic good thing to do. It's still unfortunate that you have to, like, deal with that as, like, the seller, but is what it is. I mean, I'm not really sure too much what I can tell you. It just sucks. It's a bad situation to be in. Ryan M0126. It would be awesome to hear more about how you progressed from a collector to a buyer seller. When did you feel like extra money from work wasn't enough and you needed to sell pieces of your current collection to buy more cards? Did you feel like it was different spending paycheck money compared to eBay money? I feel like I'm in a bit of a tough spot since I've been collecting a lot of affordable modern cards, and now the cards I want to collect are older, rare, and more expensive. Would appreciate your perspective on if selling some of my collection would help. All right, Ryan, I'm going to tell you something that I think I've said before, but, you know, this might be a long time ago. So I didn't start collecting until 4, maybe 5 years into selling. Started selling in 2015. The first card I added to my collection, like my actual collection, I can't even remember. It was in 2019, 2020. Some Pikachu promos, like the 001 SP. I think that was one of the first cards that I bought. I bought a whole bunch of them. I added them to my actual collection. I didn't have enough money. I never had enough money. I sold every single thing I touched. So it's kind of hard for me to give you this advice when you're like, how do you go from collector to a buyer-seller? Because I never had to go through that. I started as a seller until I had enough money to justify putting stuff away. How does it feel spending eBay money to buy more cards compared to work money? It feels great. I feel like every single person who consumes goods, who collects things, no matter what it is, plush, Funko Pops, cards, merchandise, anything, computer parts, whatever you want, lights, whiteboard, cameras, everyone. If you like this kind of stuff, you should sell it. You should try and sell it. Definitely. I mean, I don't see like... I don't think there's an issue with it personally. I think you should just try and sell everything. You get into the markets you're in. You're consuming it. You should at least try to sell into it and get some benefits from it too. So, yeah, I mean, I can't really help you because I didn't collect until I was making my job money. Oh, I didn't even think I was working. Until I just got some really big hits, really big grades, and I got lucky on some things. I had some extra money and I kept some things. But even then, you know, a few years later, I ended up selling a lot of that stuff to buy more stuff, selling that stuff to buy more stuff. It's really hard to be like a store focused and then keep a collection, or to keep like a collection and then be store focused. It's like, it's really hard to be both. Once you start selling and you start making it more of a thing, everything becomes inventory. Everything's for sale at the right price because you have the knowledge in your mind for what you can pick up for certain prices, and then you try to use that information to, you know, take advantage of those things once you have some money. So I'm sorry I can't help you. If you maybe word the question a little bit different next time, I can definitely try to help you out. Beefy Taco CS. Hey Steve, quick question for you. I have an old CGC 9.5 Poliwrath 6 out of 165 reverse. I'm trying to decide if it's worth upgrading the slab or selling it as is. Do you think it would greatly increase its value by sending it in for the 10 versus being sold as the buyer can upgrade it themselves and will get a similar price? I'm so torn because the fees with shipping is like 80 Canadian. Oh, okay, you're international. You should mention you're international first. It makes more sense. So, oh my god, my mouth is dying. Your question is pretty much, should you spend the $10 to upgrade your card through CGC to see if it's worth more from the CGC 9.5 to CGC 10, but you have to spend a lot of money on shipping internationally on just one card, back and forth. Is it going to be worth it? Is the $80 difference? Now, for a card like this, I don't think the 9.5 personally is going to be worth more in a 10, from 9.5 to 10, $80 difference, because that's like almost $100 sale price, and then you got to take away the fee. Does the CGC 9.5 Expedition Poliwrath go from whatever price it is now plus $100 when it's a 10? I don't really think so. I think you should just sell it as is. But maybe if you had 10 cards, it might be worth it to do it all at once. If you had 20 cards, it might be worth it eventually to upgrade all those things. I mean, this is just, yeah, it's like a math problem. But yeah, it really sucks internationally. Costs a lot of money to do that. I don't think it's worth it on that card for the reverse holo. But if the card was like 300 in a 9.5, personally, it probably would be worth moving it to a 10. It probably is, you know, it's probably 450, 500. It sucks. This is just how it is, and it's all mind games. And I graded like 10,000 cards with CGC before they had these options, before they, you know, made everything a 10. And I wish I was back there grading when they were making everything 10s. Maverick Bonato. In your mind, how long will Pokemon last? Oh man, what kind of question is that? Well, that was like a shocker. I dropped the page, and how long? When will Pokemon? Oh my god. I mean, you gotta think about it. Ugh. Like, how long will Pokemon last? This is great. In my mind. So am I speaking about this like personally or objectively? Spray some of this on this board. So if I'm thinking about this personally, I mean, it's hard because I hope it lasts forever. obviously. I really do hope it goes forever because I'm obviously extremely interested in it. Not only monetary, like it's not all about making money, but it also is something for me to look up, look forward to every day. I get up, I look forward to Pokemon. I look up at Pokemon every day. I'm all in my Pokemon communities. I've met such great people through Pokemon, and I'm sure I'm gonna have way more good times in the future with using Pokemon as the topic. So, how long will Pokemon last? Oh my! So this is like a life cycle of we'll go to like 96, and we'll just put what's 25 years in the future. That's like what, 2050. So we'd be around here. So we're here. So I think it started like this. It was like up and then down slowly over time. Kind of flatlined a little bit. And then we got to like 2013, I think. Can you guys even see that? Oh, the writing's so small. We got to 2013. And things started to pick up from 2013, in my opinion. X, Y, everything like that. And then we started to get like this. And then we got like, this is 2016. And then we go like this. Went down, up a little bit, down, up. I kind of messed up where the things are, but you know what I mean. And then we hit like the 2020 boom. Let me redo this a little bit. I messed this up. I can't do these graphs, okay? So I'd probably say we're probably sitting at around how do I want to do this? Probably sitting around here. I guess we're in 2024. I hope this makes sense. Let me bring this forward a little bit. So, like, look, listen to me. I'm not really good at this. I haven't done this for a while. So we started here, 1996. Everything went up. It slowly died over the years. Flatlined until 2013. 2013, 2016, we spiked up big time again. And then, this is the 2020, COVID spike. We went crazy. Went down a little bit. Went up a little bit. Went down a little bit. And people are excited to come back 2024. And right around here. So we're at a pretty good popularity right now. I mean, it's really exciting. People are still buying everything in mass. It's kind of crazy. This isn't really like indicative of where we're going to be. But like, you got to think about it. There's three things that can happen right now. We could go like that, flatline until 2050. We have the same level of like exposure and demand and love for it as we currently have. I don't know that many people that enjoy Pokemon, not even from like a collecting, buying and selling, just everything perspective. Some people like the anime, some people like the game. I know there's a lot of kids and everyone that are just like crazy about it, regardless of like investing or in values or anything like that. So like, what I think is going to happen is similar to probably what happened here. If we want to focus on like this little, I know I just drew a circle on top of things, but like, this is like Evolutions came out, 20th anniversary, everything was crazy. It went up, it went down. We had certain spikes, 17, 18. There were certain things that happened in 2017 and 2018 that made things spike. 2019 late, we were already running. Like in 2019 late, before COVID, we were still going crazy. Like that's when I first really was getting into it, late 2019. And the moment COVID happened, everything kind of like stopped and everyone was like, oh, this is really scary. Everyone's going to die in the world. People started to sell their stuff. And then when new people realized, oh, the government's giving everyone trillions of dollars, well, everything just went crazy. But a little bit before that, but like, you know what I mean? Like, we were still having like healthy market cycles. In 2019, even me as just a solo seller in Australia with barely any money to his name, I still sold like $120,000 that year. I sold a lot. And that to me is that's a lot. I don't really care. If I go back, if things go down or become less popular and I only sell $120,000 in one year now, I'm still going to be really happy, right? But now we have certain cards selling every week for $120,000. So it's kind of crazy. What I think is going to happen is we'll probably, as the world gets worse, we'll probably dip down a little bit because that's perfectly healthy and perfectly normal. Things shouldn't get better in our current economic climate. It's really shit at the moment in the current economic climate. That's like a tongue twister. Current economic climate. You know what I mean? We'll probably go down a little bit. I'm not a financial guy. I'm not a guy that knows anything about numbers. This is just me. You ask what I think's going to happen. I'm just telling you from my opinion what I think is going to happen. As someone who is a mortgage holder, a mortgage owner, being around people that are like mid-30s, just like me, early 30s, that have houses, and it's just like, yeah, we're probably going to stop spending if things start to get a little bit tight. I completely understand what's going on with the current, like, middle class, young aged people, whatever. So we're going down a little bit. I think if we do get something like a 30th anniversary, maybe the world drastically gets better, we're probably just going to see similar things. We're going to go maybe up a little bit, trend down, up a little bit, trend down. But, you know, I never know what's going to happen. No one knows what's going to happen. Maybe like, you know, 30th anniversary, 35th anniversary, things go bonkers, something goes crazy, something comes up, they come out with a new game. So, like, who would have known Pokemon Go was going to come out? Who would have known, like, that was going to be so popular? Maybe another Pokemon Go. Like, what you'll notice is, like, along the way, at every point, I'm just going to start destroying this graph. There were certain people joining, and then they leave, and they join and they leave. And there's so many people that have been a part of Pokemon's journey all across in every single one of these years that they've joined. And the one thing that completely brings all these people together is they know what this whole Pokemon is. They know what Pokemon is. They know who Pikachu is. And that you don't remove that stuff from your brain. And there might be something eventually that triggers for these people to be like, oh, Pokemon's still here. And they're like, oh, wow, Pokemon's still here. And these people all come back to it as they get older. You know, we're still like a growing franchise where most people are like 30, 25, 30, maybe even a little bit 20. Like, we're a growing franchise and everyone's still joining Pokemon and loving it. And everyone's still trying to get into their big boy jobs and spending more money. That's why you noticed all the auction houses and everything sells for like heaps still, even though we're in like economic turmoil. So, you know, what do I think is going to happen? Probably similar to what happened in the last like 10 years. We're just going to have like little bits of ups and downs here and there. Right now, it's incredibly healthy. So I really hope it stays just like it is. That was a long answer. All right. I know you don't like Pokemon investing, but I do. First of all, let me correct. I don't mind Pokemon investing. I love it. People want to buy items. I'm a seller of those items. You buy them off me, you hold them. I will just buy more and actively buy and sell. It's perfectly fine. My main thing was, don't create content around Pokemon investing and telling people that this item is guaranteed to go up. That's the only thing, because people, they believe a lot of things that they see on the internet. And then there's these people with unproven track records that have no idea. They've never even sold their Pokemon investments. So they've never really invested. All they've done is just bought stuff to put on their shelf. They haven't really ever like made a sale and gained money, which is what the goal is, right? If you're investing. So like, it's not like, you know, it's, I don't want to like say the wrong thing here and insult anyone, but it's just, I don't want people believing these people on the internet are pretty much just like snake oil salesmen that are like, this item's going to go up because it's a crazy item. And it's just like, you know, people are going to believe that. Going to spend their hard-earned money on that when it's like, okay, then what? You just put it on your shelf and then it goes up by 20%, but then you sell it on eBay and you lose that whole margin. You waited 2 years for that. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just, it kind of annoys me a little bit. But people can do whatever they want. It's their money. I don't care. All right. I know you don't like Pokemon investing, but I do. It's super fun having a wall of things you like to look at that raise in price. And if 20 years Pokemon is going to go to zero, it's a problem for me. I also have relatives that look at my 50,000 worth of sealed boxes and just say it's worth it. Then when I show them prices online, they say it's going to be worthless. I can never win. Personally, I don't think Pokemon become worthless. I just can't see it. What about you? I mean, I guess that we just talked about that, so I guess I don't have to answer that again. But, you know, in my lifetime, I don't really think Pokemon's truly ever going to go to zero. And this is why I love the Japanese stuff, because it's just like there's so much heart and soul in it. There is like, I don't know how many card stores there is in Japan, but I was in one street where there was at least 50 card stores. So that stuff is like, it's like pure. It's pure there. And yeah, I'm like, I have like $150,000 of Pokemon booster boxes as well. I mean, I hope that's like, some of mine are a little bit rarer and not just like modern Japanese, which most people have. But, you know, it's not a thing, you know. I mean, people can invest, people can buy whatever they want. I don't care. Just don't go online and be like, this blister pack that has this in it is the best thing ever because you're going to make so much money and also buy it. I'm buying it and I'm going to tell you to buy it to justify that I bought it. Something like that. All right, Andy Lopez, 8480. Yo, can you make a video on tips for bookkeeping? Would like to know what's the most optimized way to track everything you're buying and selling, and do you recommend newbie sellers to create an LLC and hire an accountant, or is it a waste of money? Oh, that's a lot of... So, bookkeeping. Me personally, I have a bookkeeper. I pay them around $7,000 a year to just keep on top of all my transactions, ask me something that's out of the ordinary to put it in certain buckets. So we have like a bucket system, I guess. And most of the things that I buy or like ways that I spend money are tracked quite easily. I've made it that way. So, you know, every time I buy postage materials, it's from the same website that I buy from. So whenever that comes up on my account, it goes, whatever the website is, that's postage material. So it moves it into a spendings category. Same thing, you know, whenever I transfer money to my, you know, my transfer wise to spend money overseas, it's like, okay, this money that I transferred is for buying overseas. Obviously, you have to commit to it. Obviously, you're going to keep the receipts of the stuff you're buying, keep everything as much as you can. And then stuff like that. So that's the way that I optimized mine personally. Every time I buy something and every time money comes in, like, you know, eBay money comes in, website money comes in, I also keep tabs on the items I'm selling. I'm not the best person for it because everyone in the whole world does different things tax-wise, financially, with their accountants. I don't even know what an LLC is because I'm from Australia. We don't have those here. I can't give you advice on how it is to be in America and sell things because it's a completely different tax system. I'm really sorry. I wish I could, but I can't. So there's definitely people out there who have like bookkeeping and accounting videos on YouTube that are so much better than me. So much better than me. And I just suggest watching those people. I can't suggest any videos, but I suggest just searching it, seeing what works for you. Like, I mean, I wish I could help you. When it comes to it, the tax systems, nothing is a waste of money. You just have to talk to an accountant and see what works for you. That's the best advice I can give. They call me Bo. Do you think it's possible to start a successful eBay account nowadays? I know it takes time. I just don't seem to be making any ground. I have other outlets I sell through, TCG Player, and have a booth at my LCS. Just wondering if you think it's possible to start a new eBay store with so many other high-rated sellers already established on the platform. That's a good question. I mean, it can definitely feel like that. It can like definitely feel like, I think there was more to that question and I cut it short for the video, but you said that you sell a lot of like sports cards, Marvel cards, Pokemon, stuff like that, and you're struggling to sell stuff. But you also have to remember, as a store on eBay, and you have a store on TCG Player, it might be the same. eBay isn't the best place to sell things for the best price because the fees are quite larger than most places and the amount of items available is more than most places. Just, it makes it harder for you to come up in any search. So, you know, I will say that. Secondly, I do think anyone can start an eBay store now and be a part of those really big sellers. I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to use my second card store as an example, Kimmy's Cards. We're sitting on around 1,400 feedback now, and now we're starting to be more of like a bigger presence, bigger force once we've built our inventory up and we've got a lot of items listed. I think we have around 14 or 15,000 singles listed on that store now, and I'm really proud of it. But also remember, haven't checked it. Today, I think we sold maybe like 18 cards. We've got 15,000 listed. Card stores don't sell a lot of singles every day, unless you're focusing on like classic collection. You know, I listed maybe 1,500 classic collection on day one, and by 7 days in, I sold 500 cards. That's completely different. That's not normal for a card store. You can't just always do that. Unless that's your goal, and you only want to sell new release product from new release sets, feel free, but you're going to get burnt out really fast. It's such like a trying to catch the wave and adjust price type thing. I don't recommend for anyone. But I do think anyone can create a store now and work on it and get to a point where they become like a driving force. But just remember, all these guys that are bigger sellers, bigger stores, they had to go through everything. And if they stop, you don't just get sales because you're a big store. I mean, maybe I can imagine people buy off me because they know of my business practices and they know of me and they know if they buy something, they're going to get it. It's going to be packed well. They're going to get it probably within the week because I ship really fast and they're happy with the service. And they'll probably choose me over someone else if we're the same price. But if someone else is lower price, I can't imagine anyone else is going to choose me because why would you, right? So, just remember that like, unless you have amazing items and you're selling them for below market price, things take time to sell. Just do it slowly. Don't focus on the money. Just focus on getting as many listings up as possible. Try to optimize everything to be able to get all the listings up. Trading cards don't take up much space. I mean, if you have more questions on how to do that, feel free. I will be making a video soon on, you know, my setup, all the shelving I use, the boxes I use, how I sort things, all the kind of stuff, just to help people out. I mean, I personally don't think I do things the most optimal way, but I also do it a way that when I sell an item, it's the fastest way to find something. It's also like, it speeds up that process, so no mistakes happen. But everything else before that, I'd probably list singles in the slowest way compared to most places that have like default photos and all this other stuff. So, you know, what I do is actually not perfect, but it creates a great like buyer experience, rather than focusing on more money. I sell a lot of my singles for more than anyone else does, but I also provide photos better than anyone else does. I provide photos of everything I'm selling, not just like a default photo just with multi-quantity. I have some listings with multi-quantity, don't get me wrong, but we put more effort into everything so we can capture those sales, and we make more than other people do, but we spend more time on the listings, and we spend more time protecting them and shipping and all this other stuff. So you definitely still can make a store today and build up. Just try to focus on cheap stuff. $1, $2. I know it sucks. It's not a lot of money, but trust me, like, just trust me, please. It'll make you feel a lot better once the sales start coming in. You start to see the growth, the feedback goes up, people are happy with your service, you get an idea of what's actually selling, you learn how to ship things efficiently, you learn how to do everything better once you start really cheap. And if you make a mistake, it's not a big deal. It's only a few dollars. So I hope that helps. Magic Ham 911. G'day, Steve. How come you regret doing your investing video? I really enjoyed it personally. Oh, man, I need so much water. The aircon's killing me right now. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about all the stoppages. I feel bad. My throat's really crap because I recorded like the card ass video today, like probably about an hour and a half ago. I probably shouldn't have done 2 long videos back to back. Good day, Steve. How come you regret doing investing videos? So the investing in Pokemon video, I regret it because it brings a different crowd to me. My videos are made for people who want to like get better at things and become like better in all areas of their life, I guess. That's what I'm trying to push. I'm not trying to push some cheap, easy, quick way to get rich. I'm not trying to push anything. I'm just like, hey, if you like, you know, you do a lot of hard work and you put the time in and you're an honest person, you will probably get some rewards out of it. It's not guaranteed, but most likely, if you can trend towards doing better things, creating value, you can get more rewards out of it. And you fix your life, you will become better in a few years' time, hopefully. That's what we all hope for, right? The investing crowd is like a buy this and sell it in a few years and you're going to be rich as all hell and you don't have to do anything. And all these people that are selling cards are all idiots. It's like, there's just people I don't want to deal with. And it brought a lot of trolls, people messaging me, people emailing me, saying that I'm whatever. But this thing is like, you know, if all these people who were investors, whatever, the last few years, you'd think that they would be better off than me. But they're not. So it's like, what's going on? I mean, what's going on? You got investors talk a big game, but like, you know, I got a lot of good cards. It's like, you know, where are your good cards? You know what I mean? You got stuff that you can get from Walmart. I got stuff that like you literally can't buy, that no one has it listed online for sale. So it's like, you know, what's going on? And I use my skill to be able to know that that's a rare item and buy that. But it's what I'm trying to push towards people. You know, maybe I'm just a rich idiot or something. I don't know. But the investing crowd it's quite funny, to be honest, those people. But they can do whatever they want. I don't care. But I definitely think they don't push anywhere near amount of like proper things that people should do on a day-to-day basis and fixing their life first before going crazy with Pokemon cards. Henry Stump 916. In what circumstances would you hold firm on a listed price in which in line with other active listings or lower to meet a buyer's offer in line with previous sold figures? Dude, what kind of question is that? That's like a corporate buzzword question. All right. Oh, what circumstances would you hold firm on a listed price, which in line with other active listings or lower to meet a buyer's offer? So it all depends on how much money you have. I mean, me lately, I don't need to sell anything. I really don't care. Someone offered me like $2,400 on a card I had listed for $2,500. I felt bad that I didn't accept. I just declined. I was like, no, I'm not really feeling that price. I really want to get $2,500. And maybe I'll never get $2,500. That's probably a stupid thing for me to do. But I was like, you know, I'm really happy with the amount of sales I made this month. I don't really want more. It's fine. Like, I'm happy with where I'm at. But maybe if I was coming towards the end of the month and I had no money left, I should probably accept that 2,400. So it's kind of like you need to know where you're at financially, and everyone has different financial levels where like they're happy and they're healthy and they're unhappy and it's very unhealthy. It's like you got to know what your financial unhappiness level is to have to accept lower and lower offers and be more and more aggressive when selling. It's and like, you know, but sometimes it depends. I had someone who's been watching me for a long time on YouTube. You know, I've known him for like maybe 2 years now. I have a Dragonite V Altide on eBay, and he's like, "Hey Steve, would you be willing to sell one of yours for the current listed price?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, no big deal. I'll sell one to you." The same thing I had with the Stamp Box Pikachu that I sold this week. I'm not really interested in selling those cards at the current prices because I like the cards and they're already graded PSA 10. I don't have to put any more effort into finding more, and it's fine. But you know, some people, if I know that like they're easy and they're trustworthy and they're good to deal with, and it's off eBay, I'll just sell them the price for the same eBay price, maybe a little bit lower. We both save a little bit of money and we get some good prices. It just depends, man. Like, yeah, it all depends on how much money you have, how hard the item was to get, and how much you can get it more. Like, one item that I sell quite a lot of is the 001 SVP promo Pikachu. I think I've sold like 6 this week at around $87 on eBay. And you're like, wow, that's so much, or that's not that much. And, you know, there's always people listing theirs. They're undercutting me. And then it's a very popular card. They all sell out, and then mine sell. I always notice it. I always know when there's none else available because mine are the ones that sell for like, you know, I sell like 3 or 4 in a week. And then I don't sell any for like another 3 weeks. And then I sell 3 or 4 because people get their subs back. They undercut me by $5, $10. They all sell, and then mine sells. They all sell, then mine sells. I'm happy to be like the median market price that no one can move up past that on that card. So it's just different. You just have to know. But I feel like as you do it more, you'll know the right thing to do on every card that you own because you just get better at it. But yeah, it all depends on how much money you need, honestly, because there's no right or wrong way. As long as you can make a profit on a card that you're happy to sell or even break even, that's probably the first thing. If you're losing money, then you really, like, if you're in a bad position, like with your money, and you have to sell something and lose money on it, that's really bad. You want to try and avoid doing that in the future. But until then, if you can make a little bit and you know the buyer, it's fine. You don't know the buyer first time or something like that, you just list it and accept the offer if it's worth it. If you want some more money, maybe you saw a deal that came up that you can use the money for, use that. But otherwise, yeah, don't sell. All right, hope that helps. Seppa Studios, our graded picks are nice. What scanner do you use? Epson V370. I have a graded scanner guide on the channel somewhere. Good luck, hope you can find it. I hope that helps. CombDR223. Selling multiples of the same card, same grade. Best way to make eBay listings or template. What picks to use? Should we put a pick with PSA cert shown or not? How to title, description, and thoughts on offering discount for volume pricing. I think that's it. I don't know. I think you got to ask more direct questions in that last line, like how to title, description, and thoughts on offering discount for volume pricing. I have an eBay seller's guide, a whole playlist that you should probably go and watch for that last bit. But multiple cards of the same grade. It's multiple of the same card, same grade. I mean, I have done it before. I would just put the card up, quantity 10. I don't really know of any other better way to do it. Some people block the cert out, some people don't. I don't. What you could do is you could put it up, and if it sells, you could reach out to the buyer. Hey, just letting you know, the cert number will be this. I have multiple copies. Or just put it in the description, something like that. It doesn't really need to be any other different way. Yeah, I do think that most sellers should try to have the card they're selling as the photo that they're using. The bigger you are, the more you can get away with it. But when you're new, you really should just have the thing that people are going to receive as the item, as you will avoid a lot of problems. Davloy, do you sell Japanese booster boxes? If we can, buy from you. If can, we buy from you. Yes, Davloy, I do. They're right next to me on my website. So, good luck. Chow Poison Cube Head 1489. I have a random question. What's a good binder copy for if I want a collection of expensive cards, gold stars, crystals, shinings, etc.? Oh yeah, you said a bunch more, like should we search for PSA 5, PSA 6? What's a good binder copy level? So I think any binder copy, regardless of grade, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, as long as the front is fine, I think it's perfectly fine. I mean, I have many cards that are like trophy level or extremely rare that aren't very good condition. I have a Miracle Diamond that is not very good condition, but it looks perfect on the front because all the damage is on the back. I have some Mysterious Pearls that are pretty good condition on the front, pretty bad on the back. I got a few Tropical Winds, 1999, that are really good condition on the front, they're bad on the back. They're perfect for binders. So I really think cards like, as long as the front is fine. Me personally, I'm happy to spend, like if a PSA 5 and a PSA 5 are right next to each other, but one has a huge crease to the card and the other one is just damage on the back, I would always go for the one that looks better on the front. That is my opinion. That's what a binder copy should be. Because there's like damaged, played, and maybe binder copy, and then like PSA 7, 8, 9, 10. Hope that helps. Beastcrafter 1753. How do you keep track of when you buy things and sell things for tax purposes in Australia? See an accountant. Hulking Mass. Have you ever looked at so many pictures of a card while looking for one in good condition that by the time you get it, you're already bored of it? Yeah. I can see where you're coming from this. This is like, you know, buyer's fatigue, collector's fatigue. I think this is a pretty normal thing, man. I mean, like, I'll try to make like sort of like a graph of this to kind of like, you know. So this is like when you want it. So you want the item. So you want the item right here. Can you guys can't see that? What am I doing? Bring this forward a little bit. All right, way. There we go. So you want it here. Days go by. You're searching, you're searching, you're searching. And here is when you buy it. So who knows how long this is? This could be 1 month, 1 day, 1 hour, 1 week, 7 days, 10 days, whatever. This is the time of when you've decided you want the item and you buy it. And this is the time, if you don't buy it in person, this is the shipping time. It could be 1 day, 1 week, 10 weeks. Maybe it comes up on auction and you buy it and it has to get curated. All this other stuff. It's whatever. This is the time it takes. This is time again. It's the shipping. And this is finding time. Time for you to find it and time for you to ship it. And then here is when you receive it. And this, from here, pretty much to here, is a graph of what it looks like of your desire. Because you already got it. You got your desire here is really high. And your desire here is really low. So you got to figure out, after this happens multiple times over and over again, you got to think to yourself, okay, do I actually want the items that I'm buying? Or do I just like the idea of buying something? And I have been through this many, many times. I have bought some pretty rare items that I thought that I wanted really badly. And then I get them and I go, holy shit, I don't actually like this at all. I just wanted something expensive to buy. And you know what? If you haven't clicked for you and it hasn't clicked for you, maybe this isn't what's happening, but this is what happened with me quite a few times. I just think to myself, like, what am I doing? You know, like there's so many things I do actually want that I can put up around. The price of them doesn't matter. It'll make me happy. Just like this one right here. Let me show you this. This is one of the only things I have on like proper display where it's like not for sale, like a plush. It's a Mount Fuji Pikachu plush. Look how cool this is. I mean, isn't it funny? It's like 20 bucks. It's like, yeah, whatever. It's not cards. It's not like proper collecting, whatever. But like, my want for that is at the same level it was when I first saw it. So if there are things around you that you don't have the want, like you can't imagine not having it, or like, I really like looking at that because it makes me laugh or whatever. If there's something like that that you can't think of, or maybe try to sell some extra stuff that you don't really have the desire to want. But if this is happening quite a lot, then you probably like the idea of buying something and receiving it more than you actually want the item. If your desire goes down over time, it's a very common human thing to get bored of something after you already have it. Because what else is there to do with it? You just put it in a shelf, you put it in a folder. It's like, you know, what do you do? But yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure, but reevaluating your goals, you don't need to collect. If you're happy with what you have, you don't need to keep buying more. Maybe just set along some time and just sell some extra stuff. And then maybe it might reinvigorate you because you got, oh, I sold some stuff, I got some extra money. Let's go spend some of that money. Let's go crazy. Let's put it all on black and triple our money. Don't do that, please. All right. Swippy cards. When someone comes to you with a large collection, or you see one listed online, how do you validate their asking price or come up with an offer? It would take hours to go through all the cards in some collections to check sold listings, but at the same time, I don't want to get hosed by taking shortcuts and overestimating a collection's value. Great question, Sweetie. This is why I'm always telling people, do what you're really interested in, sell things you're already interested in to cut down the time of evaluating things. Now, it's completely different when someone comes to me with a collection versus you see one listed online. I've broken down collections before, and I think the fastest way you could do it is if you see something and it's within the range, you want to create like buckets. So let me get rid of this. This pen's running out. We've written so much on this. Written. I think it's written. We've written so much on this board that my pen's running out. I don't know why I made a point of that. All right, so let's say, how do I do this? You got the collection, right? Oh, this is really bad. You can barely even see it anymore. All right. You got the collection. You want to create some buckets. What I mean by this is every collection's different. They all have different value items. But if it's something you're interested in, you should probably know. Let me shake this a little bit. What does it look like I'm doing here? So you want to kind of like, you want to just skim through the photos at first and see if it's worth it. So, you know, if something is listed for, what's a good price? $500? You want to choose some price things. You know, if it's a $500 collection, it probably doesn't have like multiple $100 items in it. Let's be real. Let's just be honest with ourselves. So you want to separate the things. $5 and then maybe $10 and then maybe even $3. You know, very common amounts that you can sell things for. And you want to count. All right, you want to quickly go through all the photos. You go, how many $20 cards it is? Okay, maybe there's like, you know, I saw 18. How many $10 cards? And when I say $10, I'm talking like you can sell it on eBay and then get $10 back. Not like, oh, I can sell it on eBay for $8.99. It's like, oh, that's almost 10. No, you sell it for 12, 13, 14, 15, and it would sell relatively fast at that price. Not like sell it for $11 in like 6 months' time. We're not doing that. It's talking about like, you know, $10 to $15 cards that would sell quite fast for $10 to $15. You know, there's $18, $10, $20 cards. Maybe there's like 10 $10 cards. Maybe there's like 56 $3 cards. It's like, you know, whatever. What is this? It's like 150. What is that? 168. That's a really bad 8. And then there's about 100 here. And then we got 360 here. We add all these up together. We got 460, 168. Oh, why did I choose such weird numbers? What is that, like 6? Is that 628? Something like that? Something like that. Is that 628? I think so. Fuck, I don't know. I'm just going to put 628 because even if it's not, who cares? The video's already posted. So I hope you guys can see that even though the pen's really bad. So you got the $500 collection and you found a whole bunch of items. And this is just the stuff you scanned. You know, we only looked at however many cards is in here, 28 cards, plus that is like 64 to like 80. We only looked at 84 cards. I don't know how many cards are in this $500 collection that we're thinking of in our minds right now, but you broke down the items into buckets, and maybe there is a $50 card in there. You know, maybe there is a $100 card in there. We add those on as extras. But this $500 collection, you want to break things down into buckets that you know that are easily sellable. And that's why I try not to look at things or look for things that I don't really know what's going on with them, because I have to search every card individually. It takes a lot of time, and that time taken is taken away from me actually looking for more things that I might be able to make, you know, make some value out of and get some money back. So I hope this is an idea of what it looks like. You just want to make like price buckets on easy. It can be 50, 25, 10, 5. The more narrow you make it, the more time you spend. But you just flick through the pictures real quick on your phone, whatever. Find the most expensive things, add them to the price buckets, and then if it all adds up, plus there's a bunch of other bulk and $1 items that you can sell, that's pretty good. And then when the collection comes in, if you do choose to purchase it, you start from here. You list all the $20 items first, all the $10 item next, then you work on the 3s, and then if you have spare time, you work on the 1s. The 1s is like the stuff that we just list eventually. We all have 1s, that stuff we're going to list eventually, right? But by the time you say you list these 18 $20 cards, and let's say you start getting some money back, well, you want to use this to buy another collection, whether it's $500, whether it's $300, $200, $100, whatever it is. You want to sell the most expensive stuff as fast as you possibly can. This is when you're, you know, buying and selling collections. I don't do this personally anymore. I did this at the start, but I don't do this anymore because I have enough cards and I have enough time that I'm happy to just sell stuff slowly. But that's not what I'm talking about. But this is what you can do to evaluate collections, and then you get better. You get better at evaluating collections once you get used to it. Be like, oh, this actually works. Get the good items in, sell them fastest, use the money, buy another collection, do the same thing over again, sell those good items straight away. And while you're selling everything else, all the cheaper stuff sells slowly over time, then to give you more money to buy more collections. I hope that helps. I really hope I explained that well. I hope I do everything well. I don't know. I really can feel my throat like literally dying. But we're going to power on. User XH9YE2BX6X. I'm interested in starting a similar business, and it's important for me to understand what percentage of profit I can expect from my investment when purchasing cards. Let's say I invest $50,000 in buying cards, send them to PSA for grading, and then start selling them after 3 months. Over a 2-month period, I sell off the stock. After approximately how much profit percentage can I expect to make in such a cycle? Wow. That's a crazy ass question. What are we, like an hour and 30 minutes? All right, only the real OGs are here now. We can be serious. All right, this question, as long as it's great. It's a very funny question, to be honest. But that's not what I try to do here. I'm sorry. That has nothing to do with any principle or anything I'm trying to say about building value. If you just have a lot of money and you just want to make more money and you have absolutely no idea about Pokemon, which cards you should buy, if you should grade, or how much you're going to make, my honest advice is put the money in a savings account, because you don't really know what you're doing. If you do want to do this, join the communities, join the stuff, get interested in Pokemon, get interested in anything, and then put your money in. Don't just, what are you doing? Because it's different for everything. If you have 50 grand and you spend it on the most modern cards, and then they're all like $10 each, and then you can grade like 4,000, doing that is completely different to buying like several $1,000 cards and then grading like 20. They all have different margins. It all has different outcomes depending on how you sell them at auction or buy now or slowly. Oh, man. That's the kind of question that if you paid me like $20,000, I would probably answer. But right now in this video, that's a funny ass question, my guy. All right, Preston MEE3256. Hey Steve, I'm a relatively new seller on eBay. I have around 400 listings currently made up solely of singles and graded cards. I would like to start selling other Pokemon related items that aren't cards. My question is whether it is better to have all card and non-card items listed in the same store. Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. I don't think you should start paying for another store or making a new eBay to sell other stuff unless the other stuff is so different to what you're starting and you have plans on having thousands of cards listed plus thousands of other stuff listed. It might be more beneficial because then you can set up like your business policies and shipping and the whole store of how it looks a little bit different. But if you want to sell like 20 to 30 to 40 extra things, sure. Me personally, if I have a used pair of sneakers, I probably won't post them on my own personal Pokemon Steve store. Just because it doesn't really make sense, you know what I mean? My 7,000 feedback Pokemon card selling store, I would make a separate account for that or whatever. But if I want to sell some used computer goods, I probably still will sell that on another store. But, if I only have a few hundred feedback and only 400 listings, yeah, that's perfectly fine, man. I don't really think anything is wrong with that within reason. If you want to sell used sneakers in mass and you want to sell hundreds of them and you want to buy them and sell them, then I would probably suggest making another store for that. But if you one-off non-related card things, I don't think it's a big deal. It'll be up to you. You just have to justify whether it's worth paying for another basic store. It's like $25 a month or something like that. I'm not sure the most basic option for every country. It's cheap. It's different price everywhere. But yeah, I mean, if you want to talk more about that, message me on Instagram. I'll help you out. Mr. Kite 26. Hey Steve, hope all is well. Big fan of the channel and was hoping you could give me some advice. I've been having trouble finding folks that will sell me cards for under 85% of market value for reselling. Me too, brother. That'd be amazing. All right, this is less of a problem the more expensive a card is, but for anything less than $20, it gets really hard to make margins unless folks buy multiples to save on shipping. I feel like most folks talk about where to buy the cards, but not how to negotiate a decent price with people selling them. Any tips for sourcing singles at more profitable margins? Man, I mean, this just depends on what you're selling, how much you want to sell. Me personally, I don't find that much of a problem with finding cards that are like 10 to a dollar each, 10 cents to a dollar each, and selling them for like $2 to $5. I'm not sure. But the thing is you have to be the one that puts your first foot forward, and you're going to strike out every once in a while. It's perfect. Some people don't want to sell their cards at a discount. They want cards. They're also buying and selling cards. So like, unfortunately, this is just how it is. But what I would suggest is the cards that you're wanting, you just make a general price sheet of how much you're willing to pay for the certain cards, offer that to people, and if they don't want it, just move on to the next person. I don't think it's worth worrying about. You know, I've seen a lot of people like, yo, I'll pay 60% TCG player for your collections, etc. A lot of people might not want to go to those people because it's like a little bit more of a hassle, and they will have to do all the PCG player lists and everything like that. But I don't know. I'm not really sure how. It's hard. I usually try not to offer people certain prices on things. I try to only buy stuff where people give me the price, just so there's no like back and forth kind of negotiation type thing. But yeah, it's hard though, because you know, you buy something at 85%, you sell it on eBay, you're at 85%. So I understand where you're coming from, but maybe think of different things you could sell that there's less supply, the margin's higher, but takes longer to sell, and they're a little bit cheaper. The cheaper you go, the easier it is to make a higher margin, like a $1 or $2 card. I know I mentioned a lot. I know it sucks, but like I've sold probably 60,000, probably more to be honest. Like if you talk about in-person sales, I've probably sold 150 to 200,000 $1 cards in my time, and you know, it's not a glamorous lifestyle, but it works, and you can use it to help you sell $2 cards to get some more money in, and then you can use that to help you sell $4 cards. It gets you better, but yeah, I know what you talk about. Holy crap. Oh, we finished? How good's that? Well, I hope this was a good episode. Wow, that was pretty good. I thought there was another page and my throat was like not ready, but 1 second. Oh, am I sweating? Oh, look at that. That's Australian summer for you. Bloody hell. All right. Well, oh my God, I just something just happened. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Sorry for the lack of enthusiasm or anything like that. I mean, I'm really trying my best, but yeah, today was a lot of recording. My throat's dying, but I really hope I still made this like beneficial for you. Thanks for all the support. You know, it's crazy. Well, if you want some, let's talk about some YouTube stats to finish off the video. Because I feel like the people that have been watching me from the start, they see me. I mean, I'm not. Let's not be around the bush. The channel's growing. Yeah. Let's talk about it. I just clicked on a message. I have no idea what we're looking at. Check this out. This is, can you guys see that? 146,000 views in the last month. That's all because those 2 videos had so much. What is this? 1,800 subscribers. I mean, isn't that just crazy? It's just, what's going on there? And for the other people playing at home, I mean, this is what it looks like. Real-time views, 5,600 in the last 48 hours. And I haven't put a video out for around 48 hours. So I got around 6,000 views, just people watching the channel. And that, isn't that just crazy? I mean, like, what even is that? I used to get that in 1 month. Like, you know, January, February, March. That was like 1 month. 6,000. Now it's like, what, 2 days? And not even posting videos? Yeah, I don't even know what to say. But, you know, let's not let the fame get to our heads, people. We'll still help. We'll still be answering all the questions. I look forward to Ask Steve number 100. That'd be amazing. And yeah, pretty much every 2 weeks I'm looking to do these things. Lots of questions, but please ask as many as you can. Please. I you know, I might get hit by a car tomorrow and then I can't answer questions anymore. I don't know why I wouldn't be able to. Oh, there's something wrong with me, I swear to God. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. My name's Steve, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope my explanations were good. I hope this whiteboard works. I gotta get some new pens. I'm gonna buy them from Amazon right after this. Amazon's amazing, right? I just got Amazon Prime last month, and it's nuts. They just deliver it to you next day, free of charge. I wish I could offer that to people. I gotta sell my stuff on Amazon. That stuff's amazing. That's crazy. Anyway, my name's Steve. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching.